What's up, everyone? Welcome back to King Anime Review, and for this video, I will be reviewing episode 192 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And this episode was about Kawaki's backstory. It was titled Past. And yeah, so it showed us like what happened when Kawaki was with his original father, his biological father. And Kawaki was basically a hardworking kid, you know, chopping up some logs, making some money for his dad. And it's actually kind of, weird that he was actually basically supporting his dad's bad habits, but like he was actually making money as a kid for his dad and paying for things. So he was a hardworking kid. He worked hard to buy alcohol for his father. And his father they said it was a rumor that his father used to be a ninja in the ninja war. And yeah, and he eventually, they say he lost his mind after the war and he became an alcoholic. So yeah, it showed Kawaki basically, doing his day-by-day process of making money for his dad, chopping wood, and then selling it to buy alcohol and returning that to his dad. And one day when he was doing that, he saw a guy selling fish, or a guy who tried to sell him some fish, and the guy gave him a paper to an event where Kawaki could look at fish, and Kawaki seemed very interested in it, and he put it in he kept the paper. And then when he returned home, his dad seen the paper, and as punishment for Kawaki, taking that paper and possibly planning on going to that event, his dad said that Kawaki can't get dinner. That's an extremely cruel, unusual, just an extremely bad punishment, to say that someone can't eat food because for something like that, for anything really. That's just a bad punishment for anybody, because human beings, obviously, we need food to survive. But yeah, he said Kawaki can't have dinner because for him accepting that paper and him, trusting strangers. And Kawaki's dad said don't trust strangers. So then after that, the next day, Kawaki he went to buy some liquor again for his dad, and then he ran into some kids in the neighborhood, I guess, and they were talking crap about his dad, and they said that his dad lost his mind after the war and stuff like that. And Kawaki said, "My dad is a hero." So we can gather from this bit of information that Kawaki's dad was probably a participant in the 4th grade ninja war. He was probably he probably was a ninja in the war, but after that, the war, I guess, messed him up, and he ended up becoming an alcoholic afterwards. And then so those kids, they punched Kawaki, and then a grown-up, the same grown-up who was trying to sell him the fish, or who told him about the fish event, the goldfish event, he came and he stopped those bullies. He told those bullies to get out of here unless they wanted to get hurt. And he tried to build a connection with Kawaki and tried to basically get Kawaki to trust him. And he asked Kawaki, did he want to go away with him to sell fish? And Kawaki quickly ran away with the liquor, but the liquor had been cracked after Kawaki had been knocked out or been knocked down by those kids. So by the time he got home, he was rushing home, and he actually dropped the liquor, and he dropped the bottle completely cracked. And then when he brought that back to his dad wasn't satisfied. And he called Kawaki a good for nothing. And then he started, basically, he lifted him up, started kind of choking him a little bit, and he threw him in a room. And then afterwards, because Kawaki, actually, we seen Delta in the episode because she seen, Kawaki's blood. So she must have told Jigen about Kawaki, and then Jigen showed up at the end of the episode, or should I say towards the end of the episode, and he gave Kawaki's father money in order to buy Kawaki, and he said, once, you'll never see your kid again after this. So Kawaki's dad was like, he thought he was extremely lucky. He was like, Kawaki's a good for nothing, and the only thing he's useful for is being my punching bag. Which obviously that line was in the manga, and that was one of the thing I was that's something that I said that they took out from the manga when they first adapted this scene. But I figured that the anime will go back and add this in there, so I'm actually happy that they, they basically added in all the dialogue that was from the manga that they didn't have the first time that they showed Jigen purchasing Kawaki. So then Kawaki left with Jigen, and Kawaki and Jigen ran into that guy who was trying to earn Kawaki's trust, who was the same guy who told Kawaki about the goldfish event. And then Kawaki was like, that guy was like, he told Jigen, he was like, I can tell you're in the same you're in the same business as me. You're trying to traffic, you're a trafficker. You're in the same business as me. But I saw him first. So the guy was a child trafficker, you know, and he thought Jigen was as well. And Jigen told Kawaki to go wait outside, and obviously Jigen must have killed that guy. And then he brought Kawaki to where Mato was and where all those experiments was taking place. And yeah, he told Kawaki that you're safe now. You're in a safe place. There's nothing to worry about. And then Kawaki woke up from that flashback. He was obviously dreaming about his past. He woke up from that flashback, and Naruto was like, "You're in a safe place now. There's nothing to worry about," which is basically the same thing that Jigen said. So you can tell why Kawaki. Obviously, in the preview, it shows Kawaki running away and stuff. You know, so yeah, Kawaki's not gonna be trying to. He's not gonna be cool with staying with Naruto initially. That's why he's running away and stuff. So, but it's very understandable why Kawaki has a lack of trust for people. He went from being with a abusive father who his father actually hit him, knocked him out in the episode as well. His father actually knocked him out with that liquor bottle. So he went from being abused by his original biological father, and then he ended up being abused by Jigen and the rest of Korra as well. And so you can tell why he clearly has no trust for anybody and why he wants to be left alone. And that's why when he first met Team 7, he told them to leave me alone. They was trying to get him to go back to the Hidden Leaf Village, but he said leave me alone. And that's why he was willing to actually kill people, like he actually killed Garo, because Garo was trying to take him back to Korra. He just wanted to be left alone. And Garo started to attack him, so Kawaki obviously defended himself, but he also killed Garo because he don't want nobody chasing him around. He want to be left alone. So all of that makes sense. His backstory clearly explains why he is the way he is, why he doesn't trust people currently at this moment. And yeah, we're eventually going to see him develop we're going to see him develop out of that. But yeah, so, and also, when we first see him interact with Team 7, when Team 7 first found him and he woke up, he actually had a flashback back to his past, back to when Jigen purchased him. And Jigen was like, he was about to put his hand on me. He said, "Come with me, Kawaki," or whatever. And then Kawaki woke up and he said, "Don't touch me." And that's actually very relatable, because I don't know if people, I know I have this thing where, like, kind of I wake up, from, like, if I'm having a nightmare or something. Like, I actually woke up punching the air one time because I had a dream that I was in a that's something from my past that affected me. you know I basically had, because I can relate to Kawaki. I kind of had you know I was kind of in an abusive situation during my past as well, during my childhood. I was abused during my childhood as well, so I can relate to Kawaki and the way he woke up from that, from that first time we seen him wake up when Team 7 first found him. He woke up and he was like, "Don't touch me." Like, I wake up because I kind of sleep talk as well, but I woke up, you know, from like a nightmare about something that happened in my past as well in a similar way. So yeah, I can completely relate to Kawaki and understand Kawaki. So overall, I like the way they're writing his character. And I like how the anime is adding more detail and depth to the story from the manga that they're adapting into the anime. They're adding a lot more to Kawaki's past, a lot more than we got in the manga. Because in the manga, all we got was basically Kawaki's father selling Kawaki. We didn't see, exactly how Kawaki was treated But based on what Kawaki's dad said about Kawaki only being useful as a punching bag, we pretty much knew that Kawaki was abused by his biological father before he ended up being abused by Jigen and the rest of Korra. But yeah, in this episode, they actually showed us exactly, it showed us what happened during Kawaki's past and showed us how Kawaki's dad abused him. So, yeah, this episode, like, once again, just like the anime tends to do when they adapt the manga, the anime tends to add a lot more detail and depth to the story from the manga that they're adapting. And this episode was no different. They added a lot more to Kawaki's backstory, which I really appreciate. The episode overall was very, very well done. The story was a 10 out of 10. Like I said, once again, adding more detail to the already great story that's adapting from the manga. So 10 out of 10 for the story. Art and animation was a 10 out of 10 as well. Art was a 10 out of 10. Animation 10 out of 10. The story overall was a 10 out of 10. So this was an overall 10 out of 10 episode. Yeah, I like what they're doing. I like how they, added into Kawaki's, added more detail and showed us a little bit more of Kawaki's past and gave a whole episode dedicated to Kawaki's past. I love the fact that they did that. However, I did want them to add a little bit more. I wouldn't have mind, me personally, I wouldn't have mind if they gave us, 2 episodes instead of just 1 episode of Kawaki's past. I wouldn't have mind if they gave us 2 episodes or maybe even 3, because I personally wanted to see what happened to Kawaki's mother, because in the manga, Kawaki's birth mother was never mentioned and never shown. And in the anime, it doesn't look like they're going to show Kawaki's birth mother either. So even if they didn't show us Kawaki's birth mother, I would have liked to have known what happened to Kawaki's birth mother, because obviously she's the woman who carried Kawaki in her womb for 9 months. So obviously, I mean, maybe she died while giving birth to Kawaki or something like that, but they never told us what happened to Kawaki's birth mother. They never showed us what happened to Kawaki's birth mother. They never, even mentioned her or mentioned what happened to her. So I would have liked for the anime to have added in, some extra detail with Kawaki's birth mother. And at least, at the very least, they should have told us, what happened to her. Or me personally, I would have preferred if they gave us 1 more episode. This episode was great, but if they would have gave us 1 more episode before this, showing us a little bit more of Kawaki's past and maybe, had his birth mother mentioned, I think that would have been great. But this episode did get the point across about Kawaki being abused before he ended up going to Korra, before he ended up being purchased by Jigen. So yeah, this episode did a great job at showing that. And yeah, so overall, like I said, 10 out of 10 episode. And yeah, I'm looking forward to, next week's episode, they're going to be adapting manga content, so that's cool. So, yeah, overall, the anime is going, I'm liking how the anime is flowing. Like I said, I would have just, one thing I just wanted them to add in there is at least mentioning what happened to Kawaki's mother. But anyways, with that being said, yeah, that's all I got to say about this week's episode. Another fantastic episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, another 10 out of 10 episode. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you liked the video, please drop a like and click that channel notification bell to be notified on all of my future videos. And drop a comment. Let me know what you guys thought of my review and of the episode in the comment section below. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.